Hey, we live, man. We back. It's another full-blown Trapping TV. Us Ohio Studios presents Us Ohio Boys sponsored. Um, man, you already know, man. It's Saturday night. I got another special guest in the building with me. Man, let's start off right there, man. Let them know who I got in the building with me tonight.
Y'all doing? I'm Donny Brooks, Coach Brooks, CEO and founder of the Akron Baseball Project Incorporated.
Yeah, man. I was reading a little bit about that, man. Talk to me a little bit about the Akron Baseball Project and your goals behind it.
So the Akron Baseball Project is a nonprofit organization. We are baseball, softball for girls. We provide education, not just in baseball and softball, but in the classroom as well, and volunteer work as well for the community.
So, how long have you been doing it?
We just hit our year and 7 month mark on the 12th of February.
Dope, dope. Congratulations to that, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I see you said you work with the youth. What's the age groups,
From ages 4 through 15 years old, boys and girls.
boys and girls? And do y'all travel too, or do y'all just play in the area?
Right now, we're in the area. Our goal, if not this year, for sure next year, we'll be traveling.
Dope, dope. So tell me a little bit about that, man. What got you into kind of coaching and working with the youth and kind of mentoring?
Well, I'm a former baseball player myself. When I was coming up in the 90s, baseball wasn't really a factor in the Akron community. It was more based off football and basketball.
Right,
So I had to go outside the city if I wanted to pursue higher heights than just Little League. I felt that was a problem. And I've been always told that I should start my own league, my own organization, but it just wasn't time for me to do it. And back in 2023, July 12th, that was the time.
right.
So we've been going hard ever since. I have a lot of celebrities backing it. Jennifer Hudson, The View, Tamara Hall, so many others, rappers as well, that is supporting the Akron Baseball Project Incorporated. And I have one of the best, in my opinion, the best coaching staff that I have on my team.
Okay.
Former D1 baseball and softball players as well, African American, and all my sponsors as well. We started out with 4 sponsors back in 2023 in July, and now we're at 23 a year later. My program just won Youth Program of the Year on New Year's Eve for 2024.
No, that's big, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations. No, congrats. I'm loving to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Thank
like I
you.
said, when I read it, I was like, oh, this is. I like this. You know what I'm saying? I like what you
Thank
got
you.
going on. So, with that, with getting the support from like some of the celebrities and some of the athletes and just the sponsorships,
Yes.
how does that make you feel? You know what I'm saying? That it is being received the right way.
Man, it's a great feeling. It really is. I always say baseball, when it comes to our community. It's really great. I love the fact that a lot of people is backing the company. And I really take pride in it being African American owned, not only because it's Black History Month, but the
Right,
fact is that, I most of my sponsors right now are African American owned businesses, barbershops, hair salons, printing shops, diners. And I feel with, a lot of people go for the big dollar, but if you
right,
start with, the mom and pop shops, it adds up. And I want, to have my sponsors African American owned because I feel like that dollar is missing in our community.
right, right. So talk to me. Like I was about to just go there. You kind of answered it, but just like explain. I think it's also important that you're connected with the community that you're in and that you come from, and these people, like you said, are the businesses and the people that curate the community, and they watch these kids grow up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So to have those sponsorships and getting those businesses, I think is very important. Um, so talk to me a little bit about your networking and how you've been able to get some of these sponsors.
Well, I'm a little old school. I will go to gas stations everywhere. I'll have my flyers, I have my business cards. I will speak to, if I can, the manager or the boss that's in charge at the moment. I'll ask to put my flyers in recreation centers, nursing homes, just anywhere I can leave my information.
Hmm.
I stand on that. That to me is still the ultimate way of getting your point across as well. And then I'll also shoot my pitch to them within 60 seconds to a minute and a half, 90 seconds. Because I feel like once you're past that, that's when you lose people's attention. So if you can say the gist of what you're saying within 60 to 90 seconds, you're good.
No, facts. You speaking all facts, man. So with the baseball, now I know you said ages 4 to 15. So how
Yes.
what age groups are is it broken down into? I mean,
So we have a camp coming up here March 8th and March 9th.
okay,
So we break up our groups between ages 4 to 6, then we
okay,
go through 7 to 9,
okay,
10 to 12, 13 to 15.
okay.
So
So
we break them up in those groups.
how many players usually average on the team?
Well, for my organization, we're at 85 players
Okay,
so far in a year and a half's time.
that's great.
But thank you, per team, you usually want anywhere between 18 to 27 players per team because you got your first string, your second string, and your third string. There's 9 players on the field. So that's what you want. But if you have at least 2 teams, then you're good. When it comes to little league, you need at least a couple teams just in case if some players don't show up, they're sick, they're not there. You have, players to fill in the
Right.
positions that's needed. So I would say right now for little league, at least 18 players per team. That's my goal that I want per team. Like I said, just in case with all those scenarios.
Right. Now, my dad, I want to ask you this because this is something that, I always wanted to get into. My dad, he was a coach. He had his own teams and stuff like that as I was growing up. So I watched my dad do it. I kind of got that in me, with the media entertainment phase of my life, but I always wanted to do something with the youth and start my
Yes.
own teams and mentor. But something that gets me, what I'm saying, because I already do a lot is, so how is the balance of all? How do you balance everything? Like, because when you're doing that, like what you got going on is big, and it takes brain power, human power, teamwork,
Mhm.
a support system. So how do you balance all of that? And then I'm saying you're dealing with kids, so it's like, I mean, not kids, but the youth. You're dealing with youth, so
Well, I'm a school teacher as well.
gotcha.
I teach 8th grade, so I'm with 13 and 14-year olds. So I'm really good with youth. And then also a full-time father as well. So I have 3 children, my son and 2 daughters, 11, 9, and 5. So I'm around kids all the time. You can't help but to figure it out if you
Yeah.
don't know how to figure it out. Um, my mother, she was a school teacher back when I was coming up from 2003 through 2014.
Hmm.
So I watched my mom. She worked in charter schools in the urban community in our community. So I seen her and how she handled things growing up as a school teacher, and I kind of used some of those mechanisms for myself, and then I incorporated my own style as well for teaching.
No, that's a great answer. And man, that just educated me a lot because, you being a school teacher, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have some type of tolerance for what you love doing.
Yes.
So with that being a school teacher, did you ever think about coaching like for the school? What made you just go straight? I want my own, or this is what I want to do. Did you always have that vision, or did you try to teach at the school or any schools first?
Well, so when I was in high school, I told myself once I hit a certain age, I wanted to have. Well, first I wanted to coach um, for a college, and then obviously the MLB. But I started coaching. I was an analytics coach assistant. high school JV coach for high schools in Akron. But I felt that wasn't, I'm trying to say, I didn't feel that that was going to get the job done
Right,
to make an impact.
right,
Starting your own as an African American, I say this a lot, and like I said, not only because of Black History Month, every day, all year. If
right.
you're trying to make an impact in your community as our people, you have to have your own. And whatever you're doing, I mean, I understand that, some people may not want their own. That's fine. But for me and coming up, I was always told that, it's always good to have your own.
Oh man,
And
that's a lesson.
and it's definitely hard work for sure. And like you said, how do I balance my time? I have a pretty good support system. My mother, um, she's my support system when it comes to different things with baseball from day one. I try to make my kids proud of me. That was always something that I said that I wanted my kids to be proud of their father um, coming up. And with them at the ages that there are now, they'll never forget this. My son, it's funny. He because like in school they have Chromebooks now and they
Right.
do a lot of work. He has my logo as his Chromebook background screensaver at his school. So I mean that's just cool, the fact that he represents the family business even at school.
Yeah.
So that makes me proud too.
No, I'm a father as well.
Yes.
That's one of my greatest accomplishments. Is with my kids.
Yes.
And I get that feeling too. My kids are proud of me. Or they talk about my business or my brand or what I'm doing. It's cool to get that feeling, that
Yes.
accolade from the people that really love you. Talk to me about when because I know you've been playing and doing dealing with baseball since you was young. So at what age did you really say I love baseball? And this like what age was it?
I was about 12, 13 years old. That's when I knew I was really in love with the game. I got MVP my first year playing when I was 4. Baseball was my first sport. I played football and soccer. I played football from age 7 to 14, but I was just in love with baseball and I wanted to play for a D1 college, which I did, and then minors as well before injuries came about. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I stopped playing baseball when I was 25. I'm 33 years old now. So I was trying to figure out like my niche. And mind you, I did not, once that was over as a player, I put all my trophies in boxes, took them to my mom's house, put them in her basement. I didn't look at baseball. Fast forward to 2019. This is 2017 when I was done playing as a player. My son's principal gave me a call. She said, "Mr. Brooks, how you doing?" I said, "Good." She said, "If I was to start a baseball team, would you be the head coach?" And I paused for a few seconds and I was just like, sure. I was just thinking more so coaching my son. At that time, he was in the second grade.
Right.
So I was coaching first and second graders. And when I seen the smile on the players' faces playing this game, kids that look that are us,
Yeah.
that's when that brought back the joy I had back when I was their age. So then I started coaching from 2019 up until 2023, early 23 for different schools. And I was coaching at a high school when I decided before the season started that, you know what, I'm going to start my own. That's not what I told them, but I felt like before the season gets going, because this was spring training before the season actually started. And I started at my own, and it's been soaring ever since. And the work is not done yet. I feel like it's even getting harder now because more eyes are on you once you hit a radar.
Right, right, man. And I look like I said, man, part of my job, in the media and doing journalist work and just, getting to know people in different businesses and brands. And, you know, like I said, I come across your story and I was like, man, this is I like I said again,
Thank you.
I like what you're doing.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's very positive. You know what I'm saying? One thing we like to do is show love to our people too. Like,
Yes.
because we don't tell each other we love each other every day, or you
Right.
motivate me. You know what I'm saying? And keep
Yes.
doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's impacting somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? What
Yes.
you're doing, whether we see it or not, because we don't get we're not looking for the accolades, but people don't,
Yes.
sometimes you need a, coach, I see you out there coaching and dealing with all of us and still having to go be a parent and still having to teach. And, but this our job. So we just look at it, we
Yes.
wear it on our, I just want to tell you, I commend you for what you're doing.
Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
You as well.
No, it's so respectable, like you said. Taking a sport that we all love, once we all, just even if you don't play it, people watch the World Series. People watch. It's like if you don't watch basketball, people watch the championships, the playoffs, and they get into those type of things. Every sport. So for you to even bring that back to the community that you're from, it speaks volumes on your character, and I know I see it growing even bigger
Thank
than
you.
what it is. So what what else with that? I know it's a nonprofit. So do you get out there and are y'all doing the like selling the candies and grinding the car wash, or are y'all doing the whole nine, or you just taking everything, the full responsibility and going? But are you having the kids, or y'all doing those things like fundraisers and things?
So we don't have fundraisers. So, like you said, doing the whole thing. We just did volunteer work. In 2024, we helped the homeless in November 19th, right before Thanksgiving, at the Haven Arrest in Akron, Ohio.
Mm.
I had some of my players. They were from 4 to like 10. It was about 6 of them, and it's just something I feel is important for the youth to see and to give back.
Right,
Because a lot of people, a lot of children, how should I say it? You never know if you're in that situation. As a kid, it's not on you if you're homeless. So
right,
you just was fortunate in a way, I would say lucky, which you didn't fall in the category where you're homeless and things of that nature. So I feel like with them giving back, that's the least you can do out of 365 days a year, to give a few hours of your time right before the holiday. And then the following month in December, we volunteered at a toy giveaway right before Christmas,
hmm,
December 21st, a couple months ago.
okay,
So my goal for this year is to double our what community service hours to do at least 4 organizations this year instead of 2 last year.
right, okay. No, and we love that. That's what I'm saying. Showing the kids, you know. With giving back, giving that to them young, putting that into them, so when they get older and they see these
Yes,
things, they can go back to when they was doing it and doing their community work and humanitarianism. So that's very dope, I think. Um,
thank you.
do you guys advertise on social media? Do you have social media platforms for the
Yes,
team?
yes, the Akron Baseball Project. It'll be on Google, IG. It's up everywhere right now. Um, and then as well, like I said, old school business cards and flyers. So you'll find them in a lot of recreational centers, bulletin boards, nursing homes, barber shops, clothing stores like Kicks Lounge, things of that nature. I leave my cards and flyers up as well.
Definitely, man. So, just while we on that subject, if somebody's watching this video and you get to sharing it, and they see you, and they're like, "Oh, he's in Akron," and they want to sign their kids up, and they just now getting familiar with it,
Yes.
how do they reach out to you?
The fastest way will be my business email. Fastest way. It's a home run, HOMERUN, Brooks, BROOKS, one word, 32 at gmail.com.
Great. I just wanted to get that information out there for them,
Yes,
so they know how to contact you.
yes.
So I know you said you play baseball, D1 and minor league. Who'd you play for in college?
AU.
Okay, yeah, that's dope. Okay, so yeah, all right, you was going. All right, man. I love to hear. I
Thank
love.
you.
I'm an athlete myself, so I love hearing the good sports stories, and
Yes.
then once you grow from the sports, like you said, and you figure it out, like okay, I got to transition to do something else, but
Yeah,
I can
and that
still.
was Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, but I could still involve myself in the game and
Yes.
what I love to do. So I think that's dope. But go ahead. What was you about to say?
I was going to say that was one of the hardest parts for me because as an athlete, what you want to leave on your own terms,
Right,
not where the game is taken from you as a player. But
right.
like I said, if it wasn't for that phone call from my son's principal, and I wouldn't be here right now with the Akron Baseball Project.
Right, and I think that's great. You know what I'm saying? That
Yes.
it brought the momentum back to you. Like I said,
Yes.
because it is tough. Like when something unfortunate happens and you have to be forced to leave anything alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's kind of bittersweet. Uh,
Yes.
so I always ask everybody this when they come on my platform. But being that you're into already men, mentoring the youth and working with the youth and you teach. What would you tell? Um, I'm gonna ask the question different. What would you tell a young urban kid that from our area, our culture, that want to get into the baseball, but just probably had a fear they haven't reached out, or they kind of scared. People be scared to get into different sports and stuff. So what would you tell the youth coming up right now? Just give them some advice if they want to do anything. Is what point blank.
I would tell them, or advise to them, be a leader, not a follower. Block the noise of your classmates, friends, associates, even strangers. Back when I was a kid, people would say, who plays baseball? Uh, why don't you play this? Or why do you stick to this? No one plays baseball around here. And then I would say, as a kid, I played baseball.
Right.
So I would more so advise a young boy or girl that mindset. Start up something different because it's too many of us playing one or two sports. It's too many of us.
Right.
I did the statistics. I looked them up for this past baseball season. It was only 50-ish African American baseball players out of 900 MLB players in the MLB. That's only 6%. Back when I graduated high school 15 years ago, it was 15% African Americans. So it dropped 9%
Right.
in 15 years. So it just goes to show because back when we came up, we had a lot of African American superstars in baseball.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely did.
I mean, and once they retired, it just became obsolete for our race.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad you're bringing some awareness back to it, at least
Thank
from
you.
the Ohio standpoint. Now, earlier
Yes.
you mentioned some of the sponsorships or people that like supported you,
Yes.
like the celebrities like Jennifer Hudson and different people in the Tamara Hall. How did those come about?
Well, so in my opinion of it, I felt like I had an interview back in it was virtual like this one, in Buffalo, New York. It was
Okay,
called 15 Minutes of Fame.
okay,
And that was right before the holidays, Thanksgiving. And one way or another, J Hud, December come out, boom. Um, so some of the baddies from the show called Baddies, like Anna Mac, Diamond the Body, Summer, and now tonight, Big Lex, since she's from Akron, they
yeah,
all wanted some Akron Baseball Project sweatshirts and hats
yeah,
because they liked what I'm doing for the youth and the logo. Because my logo, if you really look into it,
yeah.
it's our African flag colors with red, black, and green. And then if
Gotcha.
you look in the back, it's a bunch of our kids in the back, boys and girls playing the game. I
Yeah,
wanted my logo to be something that was um, unique, stand out, and different. And shout out to Imani Brantley. She actually drew up my logo. I told her what I wanted, and she did her magic. It's she asked me what do you want like the logo to look like. I said I wanted the skyline of Akron downtown, a glove. I mean, just everything that I wanted. She put it together.
No, it's always dope to give somebody your vision and they come and create it and blow it out the
Yes.
water. And I definitely got to give me a hat or a shirt or something to support. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
yes,
definitely.
yes,
And I got to get one for the studio so I can put it up in here. I love collector's items. I collect
yes,
merchandise and people that's doing great around our state because that's what our
yes,
platform also is about, man. People, it's just bringing awareness to the business brands, the entrepreneurs in Ohio, the entertainers, giving us a voice, letting them come speak, bring awareness to what they got
yes.
going on. That's what we do. We see it so much on these other platforms, and people go different places, and that's what you do. But we just feel like we want to shine the light on people like yourself that's
Thank
out here
you.
in the community every day, that's from the community, that's giving back to the community, that's continuing to give back to the community, and more than that, pouring into the youth. You know what I'm saying? That, and like I said,
Yes,
I know I didn't say that 50 times, but to me, a lot of people talk about it but don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I I deal with youth, with just within my field in the entertainment business. So
yes,
I find myself, being that voice of reason and just giving advice more than looking down on these kids. You know what I'm saying? Because we was there once as well too. You know what I'm saying? And nobody heard us when we was trying. Not saying nobody, but we had the times where we was just trying to get our point across, and we was a kid, and we had to figure it out. And
yes.
the world we live in nowadays, I feel like kids they're coming out with the internet. We didn't really have the internet to focus on as a number one thing. So the whole world is different. So I could just imagine um, what these kids are dealing with as far as when it comes to that. So how do you? Oh, I lost him real quick. I lost connection. We're gonna give him a couple seconds to jump back on. He might have died. His might not he might have died. His device might have need charging. We're gonna go with that one. His device might have need charging. But man, hey man, follow Donny Brooks. Um, that's him on Facebook. Like he said, D1 uh, baseball athlete, played minors, been playing baseball his whole life. Brought back to his community the Akron Baseball Project for the youth boys and girls in his city, and he's expanding. Um, He's also a school teacher, so he's mentoring these kids and working with them. Um, those are the type of people, man, we got to tap into and keep supporting them and make sure they grow as a business, as a brand. Um, I want, yeah, he back in there. Let me see. He back in there. Let me see. Let me see.
Sorry about that.
No, I was just giving them, I was running them down for them, just recapping everything that you was talking about, telling them to make sure they do tap into you,
Yes,
support you, follow what you got going on. Because, like I said again, we got to support those people from our communities. That's out here really working in the community hand to hand with our kids, um, and things of that nature. So yeah, um, before we left off, before you jump back on. I was also telling them again to follow you on your socials and things of that nature. We was just talking about. I wanted to ask you, how do you deal with some of like? Because I know kids, they're coming from all walks of life. So nowadays, with like a lot of the peer pressure and the social medias and the things they got to deal with, how are you? How is it to deal with that as an adult in the field that you work in? Like,
um, well, for me, it's not that difficult. I don't know. I'm probably just a natural. Um, a lot of the youth look up to me. Um, when they hear me speak, they think that I'm not from where they're from. But then when they find out where I was raised, they're like, wow, he doesn't dress like the average man or talk a certain way. And like for my mother, she had me always have a book in my hand.
right,
She always would tell me to enunciate my words, and so I come off enunciating my words. I try not to use a lot of slang or ebonics when I speak, and
right,
that's just because while I'm reading, it's not ebonics or it's not slang when I'm reading all the literature that I've read growing up. So. for the youth, they follow. I've learned that as a teacher, and when I've seen other teachers where they can't seem to get to the children, and I feel like too, we're not that far off when
Right.
it comes to the not so much age, but just in the times.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a kid when there were cell phones invented and the touch screens and computers, and so I'm not that far off of the generation that's today when it comes to technology. I'm off a little bit, but not a huge gap where I'm just oblivious to what's going on.
No, no, I get it, and I get it. And like I say, I always, I got friends also in the and cousins that work in the school systems and stuff like that,
Yes,
auntie. So I just always ask because it's so different from our times, and it seems like yesterday we were just in school and playing these sports and doing these type of things,
yes,
but now. Like I said, looking at my kids and watching them grow, and I feel like,
yes,
oh, so I'm just thinking like, dang, for a teacher or a principal or a person who has to do this every day besides work with their own kids. That's why I said it's a lot, man. It's
yes.
definitely a lot. Yeah. So is there what else for like 2025 can we expect? Moving forward for the Akron baseball project.
So 2025, oh man, I would say more sponsors, more players, more volunteer work. And I want to give a shout out to all my coaches, Coach Somerville, Coach Autumn, Coach Lynette, Coach Williams, all my sponsors, all my parents, anybody that shares, likes the Akron Baseball Project, um, parents, just my parents, my family, my children, just everybody. I always told myself that once I become a CEO, I want my face to be out there. When you look at a lot of brands and you buy a lot of brands, you can't, a lot of people can't say, who's the CEO of Nike? Who's the CEO of Reebok? What
Right.
does he or she look like? But you're buying their stuff. Who's the CEO of Gucci,
Right.
Chanel, Prada? You're buying it because it's a trend, people buying it. But where's your money going towards? And for me as a CEO, I know as your business grows, it may be hard to do a lot of interviews, but I'm definitely going to make sure for me that people they may not know my name, but they're going to say, "Hey, that's the guy with the baseball hat or the guy with the beard." Or something to where there's some type of distinction to my brand. Not, man, I don't even know, I have to Google them or to get you that answer. So always want to make sure that my face is everywhere, to where when people are in the program, buying the baseball merch, when it comes to sweatshirts, hats, shirts, jerseys, that they know who they're buying from, and their money is going to a great cause.
Right. No, no, that definitely makes sense. Makes
Yes.
perfect sense. So
Yes.
yeah, man, I'm very excited to watch your journey, to watch it keep growing and keep
Thank you.
blossoming. I know it's a funny thing. While we were sitting here, I figured out my technical difficulty. It was me. I just want to put that out there. It was me.
Okay.
I, I'm working with like five computers right
Oh,
here,
you're
right?
all right. I get
So,
it.
so when I had plugged something in earlier, and it switched my setting from my speakers to something else. And
Okay.
as I'm just looking, I'm like, oh, this is what's it. So I'm at because it's funny. I'm talking to you right here, but I got you on this screen too. So I keep looking in both places. So, but no, it's funny. I'm glad it all
Yeah.
worked out the way it needed to work out, man.
Yes.
Like I said, we're gonna keep supporting, following the
Thank you.
movement.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to bring. When do your season start?
Well, March 8th and March 9th is our winter clinic. It's going to be
Okay,
indoors at a new indoor baseball facility in Akron. It's
okay,
called
cool.
Summer Sports on Home Avenue.
Okay, one of my good friends, man, he from the East Coast, I think New York, but he lives in Orlando now, and he's a baseball coach. And I think he has. I'm pretty sure Lamont started his own team. I follow him real heavy. When I was out in Orlando, my daughter's cheerleading competition about a year and a half ago. I took them out there. We went to one of the games.
Okay.
Watched his team play.
Yes.
I want to. I'm gonna connect you guys, man. Y'all be some good
Okay.
brothers. Just to, I mean, I know
Yeah.
y'all. He loved baseball. Like
Yes.
it's something dawned in my head. Like Mont's
Yes.
been
Thank
doing,
you.
and and he's a teacher. It's crazy. I'm
Yes.
like, well, hold up, Mont's a teacher. Like, yeah, y'all would do work. He's definitely gonna see this. So I'm gonna definitely tag him into some of the clips. And hopefully y'all can connect and just even build. Like you said, you're gonna be traveling. Maybe he can, bring some team and however it works out. But man,
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna connect that dot, man, for you. I like that.
Thank
But
you.
but yeah, man. Anything else, man? You want them to know?
Um, I will say one more thing. We are definitely taking over the game for sure. Akron Baseball Project Incorporated is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. This is going to be. It's becoming a global organization. What California know, New York know, Ohio know. Yeah, we're definitely going to be. We're taking over. Definitely
And
becoming
we
global.
salute it, man. Keep doing your
Thank
thing,
you.
bro. It's
Appreciate
been
it.
a pleasure to have you on the platform.
Thank you for
This
having
won't
me. Thank you.
it won't be the last time. You got to
Yes.
come give us some updates once the season
Yes.
starts. Tell us how everything's going. Send
Yes.
us some pictures of the kids so we can post them on our
Yes.
platform and everything
Yes.
like that. And again, man, we appreciate you, man, and you have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
You too.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.